Good evening, everybody. This is Anushka. Welcome to Mixer Day. Um, so, what Mixer Day basically is it's an opportunity for the seniors and the office bearers of each association to sort of interact with you all. It's kind of an icebreaker session in the sense that we're introducing you to the fun stuff of college, which is essentially all the associations that we have. It's also an opportunity for former office bearers to sort of come and pass on the baton to the newer office bearers and sort of carry on the tradition forward. What we'll also be talking about today is what we're hoping to achieve with all these associations and the calendars and the agendas and things like that. So we have five associations: the SJC Squizzers, the Literary Society, the Performing Arts Society, NOWS, and the Linguistic Society. So without any further ado, I'd like to invite Professor Ancona to inaugurate all these associations. Professor Ancona has been a student at Joseph's and the English department for 6 years. She's also been a teacher here, and she's what we like to call the mascot of all these associations, um, because she's been a part of all of that, and she's the best person to sort of tell us about what happens. So, Professor Ancona, welcome.
Can everyone see me and hear me? Oh no, give me a second. What is this tragedy? Just give me a second. Okay, looks like my background has failed me. Okay, the picture is up there. So, good evening to everybody here. Thank you, Akanksha, for that very nice introduction. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to Arul sir and Vijayata ma'am for making me do this. When I asked them exactly what am I supposed to say, among the many things that made a lot of sense, the one thing that stood out was just do off. So I want you guys to sort of hold on to that little phrase until the end of this little speech that I have to sort of make sense of what I'm trying to say. If I don't make sense, you try and understand. Okay. So 6 years ago, when I walked into the department as a student, I was extremely nervous, extremely hesitant, and was very, very scared to step into that space because growing up, we were always taught that staff rooms are spaces where students aren't welcome. Little did I know that 6 years later, I'd be walking into the department as if it were my home. It is. And very shamelessly sit in front of my professors and say, hello, hi, how are you? What is up? It's because of being a part of these associations and involving myself in association activities that I've been able to build bonds with not just my professors, but also with people outside of my classroom that I will hold very close to my heart for the rest of my life. I'm not here to sugarcoat these activities of the association and say that it's going to be very like sunshine and rainbows. You are going to work a lot. You are going to spend a lot of time in the department and very little time at home. You are going to function on a lot of caffeine, maybe not too much sleep, but a little bit of power naps here and there. You're going to run around and wonder where the cable is or where the batteries for the mic are or where the speaker is or where the port for the speaker is. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting in that stuffy AV room with, these speakers tell you so much about their lives and their experiences, and nothing else matters. Realize that that is exactly why you're meant to be, and that's who you're meant to be. Being a part of association activities will teach you a lot about yourself and a lot about what you're capable of. At least that's what I've learned. We also have like this little madness that we run on, right? Arul sir will tell you about this madness. Vijayata ma'am has written about this madness. But I'd like to say that, again, you may think that all of these things are very like, oh, what is this person saying? But trust me, at the end of the day, when you're sort of doing all of these things and forgetting who you are, you're just doing it, right? You realize that you're a part of that madness. And I hope that being a part of these associations shows you that there is that little madness in you and you discover it yourself. And I'd like to sort of borrow from Alice in Wonderland and say that we're all mad here. So I hope you embrace that little bit of madness that you have and all of the association activities that will bring out the madness in you. And I hope that you learn a lot more about yourself and know that with this idea of meta that Arul sir will talk about, you will realize that your teachers and professors are people who will go above and beyond to support the crazy ideas that you have, right? To sort of end about, like these crazy ideas that your professors will support is that picture in front of you which is being projected. So in third year, one day I ended up walking to the department with a green color balloon and going to Vijayata ma'am and talking to her about it. And then I asked her, like, ma'am, what if we could inaugurate Meta with balloons? And as crazy as that idea may have sounded, it was just a fleeting thought, but that's how we inaugurated Meta 2018. And to be very honest, it's one of the best things that's ever happened, right? And you think that your crazy ideas don't have a place, but to be very honest, your crazy ideas will always find a place in these associations that you will be a part of. And I hope you find your place and your home as I have my home. And with that, I can officially say that the may the association activities for this academic year begin. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Professor Ankuna. I don't think it could have been said better. The department is a home for anybody and everybody who chooses to make it their own. Speaking of home, I'd now like to invite former office bearers Pranava, Ishwari, and Fatima to talk a little bit about this madness that we all sort of possess, and we're hoping all of us can pass on the metaphorical so to say, to the
Hi, Ishwari, we can see you, but you're ulta. Phone ulta itkonbidi. It's a desktop. Parvagilla ultane matadi. It's okay.
Okay, it's a phone. My laptop just gave hand and I had to join in my phone in last minute. So
Okay,
I'm so sorry about it.
No, we can twist our face. It's okay.
Okay. So I'm a little nervous to talk today, but I will still talk. And when I got to know that I had to talk a little today, all I could think about is even if it is mixer or the department, only word that was coming to my mind was home, home, home. And if you ask me why am I calling home or why Ankuna ma'am was calling home, I don't think I will be able to explain it to you. I mean, it is like poetry, no? You can feel it, but you can't really explain it. Even if you explain it, you tend to lose words and all that. So yeah, even like Ankuna ma'am, I was also roaming here and there. It all started with lab sessions, but after lab, I also started coming to the department and all that. I have met many lovely people here, be it my seniors whom I always fangirl stalk them on Instagram, their blogs and all that, be it the most kind professors I have had, though they all show me so much love that they not just listen to my stories with careful attention, but all my rants also. So it is such a blessing to just be around them, to physically be around them, listen them, just look at them and smile. And I used to think that okay, someday I should be like them and all that. All these kuti moments keep happening if you are around. And many things to me started as a compulsion. I remember it was 4. We had our mixer day in Xavier's Hall that day, and I had attended 3 continuous lecture series, and I was so tired. I just wanted to go home, so I had a very pavam face, and I went into the Xavier's Hall. I was so lost. I didn't see people around. I just went and sat on that blue chair. But once the program started, our seniors had put up a small performance. I mean, the stage was all black and white, but then sometimes you feel that no, even if it is full black and white, it is so vibrant, it is full of colors. And when I came out, my mouth was open for such a long time. I kept thinking about how talented they are, and that's when I also decided I'll also go join some or the other association. So yeah, you meet new people, and you somehow go, and there is this madness that keeps running in your mind that okay, you have seen them, how are they online, how are they offline, how are they in campus, how are they on stage, how are they off stage, how are they near the place where you get samosa chai and all that. I thought staying after 4 is not that bad, right? So whenever you have events after 4, please stay, they're all nice. And I think one to the department or any of the event, you just keep coming back. There are no goodbyes as such. You just keep coming back, and sometimes all these makes you cry, all the stress, all the pressure and all that, but they also make you happy, and happy tears come keep coming. And somehow after 3 years, I mean towards the end of your graduation, all these tears become happy tears somehow. And on top of all this, you get chai, samosa, buttermilk, all these just to add on to the pleasure that is already there. See, even our detention, okay, our class, started attending events because of our detentions, and we were officially called the cows. All of the class together, we were one cow batch, and we events because of detention. And detention was pressure, okay, but then only until we entered the hall, entered the session. But then after eating this chai, samosa, and everything, they just converted our pressure into pleasure. I mean, I hope you get that. And I remember this one Anna, I think his name was Anand Anna. He would come on his cycle. He used to sell samosas. He's so carefree. Whenever you meet him, he knows what do you want. He knows if you want chai or you want coffee. If one day you go by, next day he will remember what do you want, even if it is 1 million people going there and buying. So you meet such, I mean, they are okay. Sorry, it was Dhananjay Anna. Okay, you meet such interesting people that you feel like wow, people are so beautiful. You just, if you are, if you try to fit in, I mean, I have tried fitting in at multiple places, but department or these events are the only place where I haven't tried to fit in. So yeah, all these things was completely new to me, be it reading or writing or listening or even telling my stories to others. One of my friend, her name is Saranya, she talks about how the being around the department and all that, to writing and listening helped her to listen to others without zoning out, without dozing out. I think that teaches you because you hear a lot of conversations. Not just here, you also get chances to eavesdrop. That is more interesting. So you naturally cultivate that habit of listening without yawning or without dreaming about other things, and that in turn makes you tell your story so beautifully, right? So all this happened, and towards the end of my UG, I felt like I was someone new, as if I was born again. It was is some very weird feeling, but then I was very happy. Even now, I feel like I have a completely new identity. I feel so. I think so. I don't know if it's true, but it it keeps happening, and yeah, all these events, the department and everything has been fueling my belly with so much happiness in between all the portfolio tensions, the anxiety to fit in, and all that. But then once you come here, it is home. And since Mixer is the start of all the events we do throughout the year, I've come at the okay, sorry, I just got a call. Okay. I think you have come at the right place where you will witness a lot of madness, a lot of cute things, a lot of funny things, important things, and you will somehow start observing little things around you and make sense of how those little things tell you where you come from, where other people come from. I mean, there is a lot of unlearning that happened to me, and I think it happens to everyone who is associated to the department in one or the other way. And as we keep missing a lot of funny things. And one such funny realization I have had was during one of the meta sessions. I have told this multiple times, so if it is repetitive, I'm very sorry. But it was Archita ma'am's session, and she spoke about how she showed the Made in India video song. That was the very first time I saw the Made in India video song, and I realized that it was not a patriotic song. It was not a song I would choose to dance on Independence Day, right? So all these funny things happen. I mean, it is like a home, like how all others say in the beginning. I said it is filled with joy. It will give you moments where you are fully stressed. You just want to burst out. It also makes you sad sometimes because you are a little drained, tired, but yeah, it's like home, a mixture of everything. And all these will somehow take you back to the memory lane in one or the other way. And I think all these memories that I have, you know, carried or taken away from the department and the festivals we do around the department are sustaining me right now, because all these memories can save me when nothing else can save me. I mean, I just sit and think about it and it feels very good. I tend to smile and it also helps me to write. So yeah, sorry for so much. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishwari.
Am I going next?
Bunny sir, Bunny.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I don't know what else to say. Ankona Madam and Ishwari have already covered quite a bit, but I've written something and I hope you get something out of it. Good evening. When Christine asked me to talk at this mixer, I nodded off full excitedly, but there were two problems I didn't consider. The first being that I'm wildly inarticulate. And secondly, when you want to talk about the department, language becomes utterly inadequate. I think that's because the department is so many things at the same time. I was coming home after a long Meta day in 2019, and Meta is your main festival. You'll see, sorry. I realized that I'd spent all of my time that week in college. That night, home felt like a hotel room where I got food and space to sleep. And I told myself that I'll fix that when Meta ends, spend some quality family time. But that was very far from what happened. I don't know what possessed me, but I spent all of my time at the department. And I think that's because I unconsciously or consciously or whatever understood that the department is a place of possibility where magic takes many forms. For example, let's say you're having a really bad day, you come to your professor with a long face, and she'll slam a book in your hand, and bam, the day is not so bad anymore. Or the people you meet and become friends with over cups of chai and biting into samosas or naan, or both. Uh, a dear senior of mine once said that there is a great pleasure in getting to know yourself. And I don't think there is any place better to do that than at the department, because it somehow accommodates both companionship and solitude. There's this book called The Night Circus, okay, and it's by this Erin Morgenstern person, and it's about this traveling circus that opens at midnight, and it's a very normal looking tent by day, but at night also it's pretty normal looking, but inside it's like pure magic. There are like many tents, and each of it has its own show, and all of them are equally dazzling experience. Not a perfect analogy, but our department is much like that, where there are things going on in each corner. There'll be people reading, and there'll be association meetings going on, teas and snacks being served, students whining to teachers about their writing or going gaga over other writers. And you'll go from one corner to another, wanting to take all of it in. And I think you start to live differently there. You become okay with uncertainty slowly because you learn that the present is enough. It's where you'll have so many of those indescribable moments of joy, and it's where, if you want, you can learn to describe them. It was at the department that I learned the meaning of love, of friendship, of joy, and it is where I found my vocation. And all this is made possible by our professors. whose kindness is like a banyan tree with branches that nourish what little kindness we have within ourselves. In many ways, your batch, the 2021 batch, is really lucky because you'll probably get at least 5 semesters offline. That's one more than we got. And I'm really excited for each of you to experience the department and its people. Good luck and bye-bye. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, Pranav. Is Fatima here?
I don't think she's here yet. She said she'd come. It's okay, maybe she can join later.
Okay, should we move on then, ma'am?
Yeah.
I don't think I have appropriate words for how these two people speaking made me feel. Just all smiles. We've had mad people from before talk to us. Now I'd like to invite the current office bearers to inaugurate their associations and tell us a bit more about it. That's why this is called Mixer Day. It's just a bunch of equally mad but absolutely brilliant people bringing to you amazing associations and hoping that you will want to be part of this madness. So I would like to invite Aditi and Ravi Shankar to tell us a little bit about the Quiz Club.
Hi guys, I'm Ravi Shankar, currently studying in MSc Computer Science first year, and I'm the convener of the Quiz Club. So I would like to talk about the Quiz Club, but you can't talk about the Quiz Club by not talking about the English department because without without the guidance and motivation we get from the department, it will be a really difficult thing to manage the things that we do at the Quiz Club. And these here are you guys can see these are images from the quizzes we have conducted in the past few years. So we in the Quiz Club we conduct a lot of events, not just quizzes. We sometimes do events like 20 questions, what's the good word, cryptic clues, and all of those things. We try to have as many events as possible throughout the year, and at the same time like we try to also have enough quizzes going on. So we conduct quizzes every week, every Friday, and other than that we also are planning to conduct themed quizzes every 1 or 2 months. Other than that, we have this quiz which is called as push-ups. So push-ups would be our fortnightly quiz which we conduct, and it's open for quizzes not just from the college but to also other people who would like to participate in it. Talking about the Quiz Club, it's a really wonderful experience because I spent 3 years in the Quiz Club right from my first year. It is in a way like a family because once you get to know the people there and you start meeting them every now and then, you quiz along with them, you set questions with them, you get to know about the person more, and you connect with them more and more and more with each time you meet them. And it's what to say, it's such a good thing that we did not my batch did not have a graduation in college, and we were, what to say, a bit unfortunate in that. But my last day in college was the valedictory meeting for the Quiz Club, and I feel that that day was such a wonderful day that it could not get any better. I don't think my graduation would have been any better than the last day I had in this college, which was the valedictory meeting we had in the Quiz Club. We also have Aditi, who's the co-convener, and I will like her to talk and share a few words about the Quiz Club.
Hi, thank you, Ravi. Hi guys, I'm Aditi. I'm the co-convener of the Quiz Club. So when it comes to quiz club, I only think of one thing. When I was little, I've loved asking questions. I always used to ask why not, and everybody used to say, why are you asking these questions? They're not relevant. They're obvious answers. So I stopped asking questions, I think, at one point. But when I joined college and when Nikita Thomas and Shreya, who are our previous conveners, they're badass people who set like really good questions. So they came to our class and they said that there's a quiz club and that in quiz club we ask questions. And I was like very excited. I was like, okay, yeah, we have to go, and I have to go and attend the meetings. And I hunted down Nikita in front of the department. She was, I think, talking to somebody about something, and I was like, please add me to the group. So she added me to the quiz club group, and since then I've started going to the quiz club meetings, and I never stopped. I've just seen these people set amazing questions, which were not obvious answers, which did not have obvious answers. All questions were relevant, all questions could be asked, and that's what I do. When I set quizzes, I just ask questions that I want answers for. It might be questions like, why is the thermometer white? And you'll get some bizarre answers. And that's that kind of questions I would like to set, and that's what we do in the quiz club. I love the department with my whole heart, and I'm so sad that I couldn't spend 2 years in it. But I'm also so glad that I get to be part of these associations, because it's like this big group of very, 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 very good people you get to interact with, and you sit and you just, the conversations are flowing, and you're like the fly on the wall, and you want to just take it all in, and you're like just so flabbergasted by these amazing people having these amazing conversations. And then you realize that these are the things that were going on in your mind, but you couldn't ever speak about it. So that's quiz club for me, a place where I can ask questions, I can answer questions, and I can also start discussions and just keep talking and not get shouted at for asking too many questions. I hope that the quiz club is that and more to you, because we want to keep interacting with you. We want to keep bringing new quizzes for you. The other day, me, Anushka, and all of us were in the department, and we were thinking we should organize a quiz about soap operas, not soap operas, Hindi serials. So that's what we might do. Quizzes get crazy in the quiz club because we take some random topic and set quizzes on it. So I just hope that all of you come to all of our quizzes and have a lot of fun asking questions, answering them, and just interacting with us, because these 3 years which I hope you spend in the department are going to be the best. You're going to learn so much. You're going to meet so many good people, fangirl over so many people's blogs, professors' blogs, seniors' blogs, juniors' blogs. So please do come take part in our quizzes. We have a lot of activities lined up for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Ravi Shankar. Like I said, the associations and the departments are the best way to sort of meet and have the most insane time, even if it's something as absurd as jamming and vibing over soap operas and then coming up with an idea to make a quiz about it. Next, we have the conveners for the Literary Society, which will be Christine, Aishwarya, and me. I think Christine will come and talk, and then we will Aishwarya.
Hello, am I audible?
We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So, hi guys. I'm Christine. So, I'm here to talk to you guys about Meta School. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is Meta School. Meta School is an event that we organize for the school kids. So, all the school kids from Bangalore come and participate with us. And you guys can be volunteers and help us out with conducting the events. We have a lot of events set up for them: quiz, jam, and many other. It would be great if you guys come in and help us out with all of that. And what else? I'm not going to spoil anything else with Meta. You guys, we have our conveners to be talking to you about it. So I'll paste the link, put the link in the chat box, join us and be a part of the family. You'll have fun, I promise you that. I think I'm done.
Thank you, Christy. So next we have Metonym, which is basically the intra-class fest that we organize. This year's theme will be revealed by Dr. Arul towards the end, but we have events in performance, art, writing, speaking, as well as quizzing. So do come, do join. It's a great way to earn points for your class and become super popular, and also meet a lot of wonderful people and take part in a lot of amazing events. So be there. Aishwarya.
Am I audible right now?
Yes.
Okay, so hi, I'm Aishwarya from 3rd CPE. I'm the co-convener of Literary Society. So there's an Instagram handle called Meta Josephs where you can see all these people in yellow dresses and with very, very bright smiles. And I think that is like, the perfect definition that I can give of Meta. It is our annual literary fest where people are encouraged to come express themselves and have fun while doing it. So you can listen to all these wonderful writers come talk about things that they're passionate about, and this includes our professors as well. Okay, they're a lovely bunch. They're the best you could ask for. And last year we had Nisha Susan, Siddharth Vaityanathan, among the others. So we have our YouTube channel where you can check out all the tasks. Links for both of these have been pasted in the chat. Please check them out. And these talks and all are very important because they let you in on like a different perspective. You get to think differently, read differently. And I think everyone who's spoken here before has told that they did a lot of unlearning after they came to college. And that happens when we participate in this. Volunteering is a fun activity, okay? In my first year, I had to do it. I started doing it just to get out of my hostel and stay back in college for a little while. And we'd go and make our also sign this letter and go show it to our hostel warden just to stay back for a little while in college. Uh, it started like that, but then we started having fun while we were doing it. We did a drama in the first year, which was terrible, and we have a laugh right when we think about it right now. And then in the second year, we did a little bit of miming and participated in inter-college competitions. And those memories are like, very, very close to my heart right now. I think about that and I get suddenly very emotional, I know, because I miss being offline and meeting all these people and talking to them. And there are fun workshops organized by all the associations. So it's not just Lit Society. We have events tailor made for you, I'd say, if I could say so. And this speed boost that excited accountability gives us, like, a match to none other. So if you can't find the activity that you are very, very interested in, contact us anytime you want. We'd love to give you the details of the events, or like, add it up in our list, because that's what we do here. We have fun with you. We express ourselves and enjoy it as we do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Please do reach out so that we can introduce you to all the amazing events we're going to have this time. As part of the Literary Society, we also have the reading room and the writing desk. And through the reading room, you will discover brilliant, brilliant writers. I remember I didn't even know who Didion was, and then I found Joan Didion because of Vijay Ma'am and how wonderful her words were, and writers like Nisha Susan and Machado. So it's an amazing place to grow as a reader, to become sort of familiar with so many worlds you didn't know existed, and write about those worlds as well. So that. Next, we have the conveners of the Performing Arts Society. Arya, Shona, and Shweta to tell us a little bit about their association.
Hi guys, I hope you guys can see me and hear me. So the Performing Arts Society, as you guys know, everyone's a part of a play or an act. Like we live in a world where we are actors of some sort. As Shakespeare said, as all the world's a stage and all men and women are merely players. So to celebrate this and to bring about these actors in the community of acting, our department has something called Performing Arts Society, where we have a lot of events relating to performance and like theater especially, and that's to celebrate all of this is what I'm here for. I'm the convener. I'm Arya J, and Shweta, if you're here, she'll talk a little more about our events right now.
Hi everyone, I hope I'm audible. So my background right now is some background that is from a picture that we took during Intramural, which is one of our biggest events. And so basically the Performing Arts Society always has a lot of fun events happening. Maybe not throughout the times. I mean, throughout we always have small events and then we have our biggest events. I'll just tell you something about our smaller events. So the Performing Arts Society is a place where you can express yourself freely. So for Jamja, we have seen people talk about topics that are varied from three-legged grasshoppers to rasam in Russia. So the only thing you have to do is to make sure that you avoid hesitation, repetition, deviation, and grammatical errors. And well, you obviously need to keep the limit of your speaking time to 1 minute, since it is just a minute. We also host workshops like ones for improv, theater, and script writing. And these workshops are super engaging and you just can't leave without building up your skills. Then we also have DYOT, which is do your own thing. It's basically your golden ticket to show off your unique talents. You can sing, dance, do gymnastics, stand up, juggling, whatever, as long as you entertain the audience and we don't get mad at you. As for mime, we have this amazing mime team. Well, the last mime team didn't really tell us much, but they definitely were amazing and they looked like they had a lot of fun. They went around competing in different colleges in Bangalore. And I also want to let you know that we'll be having a new team forming soon. So please do come check out our association if you want to be part of any of this. And next, Arya will tell you a little more about Intramural, another main fest.
So hi again. So our two main events of the Performing Arts Society is Intramural and Upstage. Intramural is a place where interclass people form groups and start performing, theater and a lot of things. Like there's script writing, there's short plays, there's long plays, and this will happen really soon. So if you guys are really interested, please do contact me or Shweta about this. Then there's Upstage, the main event of the Performing Arts Society. I remember why I wanted to join Performing Arts Society was because of Upstage. There were these 3 days of my first year where I was in backstage and I would clip on lapel mics on every, actor that was coming in. I'm like, I want to be part of this. This is exciting. And I wasn't an office bearer back then. That's when I applied for my second year. So Upstage is where people from different colleges come together and they perform a lot of amazing plays that you get to witness and be a part of. Even students from SJC can perform. We have pictures of that. It's in the chat box. There's Fatima's team, RX convener. She performed a really beautiful play in my first year. Then we have Father Hedwig de Costa's Shakespeare elocution. So Father Hedwig was a part of the English department a long time ago, and he was a person who was very into Shakespeare, and he would talk about Shakespeare excessively. So to commemorate him, in 2018, we had our first elocution, where people are supposed to pick out a monologue from Shakespeare and perform it. And I remember Priyanshu winning it, if Priyanshu is here. So there are such events that are part of the Performing Arts Society, and this is really fun to be a part of. And it would be great to see a lot of people performing their madness on the stage, and that's why we are all here, to celebrate and showcase this madness anyways. So it would be great if you guys can come join us. You can DM me or Shweta anytime and we would let you know. Okay, next we have Shona, who would talk about the MA program around the Performing Arts Society. Shona, if you're here.
Hi. Yes, so hi everyone. Welcome, juniors and my classmates, teachers. I'm Shauna De Silva, and I want to talk to you a little about a very exciting thing, something very close to my heart. It's theater, and one of the reasons that Joseph's even caught my attention, one of the many reasons, was theater, and the fact that we have it in our curriculum. It's part of, you'll have it as well, our juniors in the third and fourth semester. And right now, we're working on monologues, so we'll have performances each week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we'll move on to plays and group performances. And I guess something that's really nice that we got to experience, even though we were online, was the fact that we got to watch the performances of our seniors and really learn something, be entertained as well. So it's double the joy. You get to learn from either the good things or the mistakes, and you learn something from it, and you are entertained at the same time. So we really encourage a good audience, and we'll send you the links, and you should really join. And when you come to the third and fourth semester, you'll have a lot of knowledge about how it works. So yes, this is just encouraging you to join, and please register for the Performing Arts Society. Welcome and have a good time. The registration link is on the chat box.
Thank you, Shona. Thank you, Arya. Thank you, Shweta. Now we have Fatima, who was the former convener for the Performing Arts Society. So she's made a perfect entrance to talk about her experience. Fatima.
Yes. Hi guys, I'm Fatima Zaveri. I was the convener last year for the Performing Arts Society. And I was called to, hi, thanks. So I was called to basically talk about my experience, and I think it's incomplete without firstly thanking everyone that made everything possible that we did in the last year. So to begin with, thank you so much to all the professors, Arul sir, Vijayata ma'am, Rinsi ma'am, Vijay Shanti ma'am. You guys were so patient with me with all my, I was constantly messaging you, and I just want to say that these guys make everything so much more simpler and so much more fun. They're a fab group of people to work with. So I'm really excited for all the OBs this year to be working with them. So yeah, have fun. And most importantly, I want to thank my team. They made me look really good, honestly. They were so great in terms of getting things done. I just had to say it, and it was executed to near perfection. So thank you so much. The reason I bring up my team is because some of these people are going to be your OBs in the next year. So I'm sure they have amazing things planned for you, and it's going to be really, really great. I'm so excited to see the things that you guys are going to do in the next year. And I encourage, most importantly, everyone to participate. Please try and make it to all the events, especially the third years. I know that you think that, the course is going to be really hard and you have a lot of things to do and you don't have the time. But please try and be there, because firstly, I think, trust me, you will not regret it. And it makes your college experience complete. It's really important. It's just really great. So please try and be there. Speaking of the Performing Arts Society, I think for me, the philosophy behind our PAS society is essentially expression. That's how I've seen it. It's about putting yourself out there, exploring opportunities, which which makes this particular platform so incredible, right? You get to do so many different things. There is this misconception that, the performing arts is only about theater, and that's not true. And that's something that you will realize in the coming year, with the kind of events that people, as these guys mentioned already, right? They have such a great menu of things planned out. So please try and be there. I really look forward to attending all the events. And yeah, that's about it. In a word, I think if you ask me about my experience, it's just been really special and really incredible. So congratulations to all the OBs for this year. All the best for everything that you do, and have fun, everyone. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you.
Fatima. If any of you possess the dramatic flair or want to come experience the dramatic with the Performing Arts Society. Next up, we have Asta and Ritika from NOWS, the conveners, to tell us a little bit about what the association does.
Hello, everyone. I'm Asta from EJP, and I'm the co-convener of NOWS, along with Rishika, who has refused to speak today, but she will be there smiling from there. So NOWS typically runs film screenings, discussions, and news-related contests. One of our very, very famous events used to be the Quiet Debate, where it was a space for conversation about important events. Last year we started Listening Post, which we had 3 very good sessions. It's an online music curation event where listeners tune in and we talk about the stories that are related to the music that they're listening to. Uh, Next, we have Unique Food Fusion, which was very, very successful when college was on, and we'd have halls filled with people with plates in their hands after paying 10 rupees. And as you can see, our professors gleefully eating food. So, OOF is an attempt at archiving gastronomic delights and secrets. This year, we have made an attempt to morph it into the online space, but we're not going to tell you how just yet. You're going to find out soon. We also started Boom Voyage last year, which was writing about travel when you couldn't travel at all. I see a angry Vijeta ma'am in the chat box, but that was one of our very, very important pictures for this slide. Okay. Okay. And I think the one event that everyone will watch that we do is called Nose Cut. One of my fondest memories of college from first year is walking into this room where everyone was dressed up as different kinds of people. And Vignesh, our senior, impersonated Vladimir Putin with the most unconvincing Russian accent and still won. And it was really great. So, Nose Cut is basically a mock press conference situation where you can interact with your favorite celebrities, maybe not so favorite celebrities, politicians, etc. We also host an annual journalism festival called Blue Pencil, where we do events related to multimedia and news and etc. Our team this year is Rishika and I are conveners. Rishika is from CPE. Shreya is the secretary. She is from JIP. Lona is our joint secretary from EJP. Srinidhi is our treasurer from TEP, and Isabel is our festival coordinator, also from TEP. So I'm just going to tell you this one thing, that how I came to know about NOWS. So it was the end of the day. Our classes had ended at 4, and then I was still in college, and then I was just gonna go back home. But then there was this room. It was extremely dark, and like 60 people were sitting inside with a projector on, and I was really confused, like, what's going on. So I went inside and I was asked to pay 10 rupees. So it was a film screening. I walked in a little antsy because I didn't really know what was going on. But we watched this Japanese film about someone making a dictionary. And Then next week we watched a film called The Eel, and then there were a bunch of movies that we watched. So this is now screening, which used to be fantastic offline, but this year we are gonna do it online as well. So a lot of things are lined up for you. So if you are someone who appreciates film, art, food, music, then now's the association for you, and we look forward to having you. Thank you. Okay, full form of nows. So I'm so sorry.
No, I was saying I'm dropping the the Google form. If you would like to join the WhatsApp group for updates, you could do that. And we also have a Instagram page for Nows. So yeah, you should definitely follow us.
Okay, someone asked full form for nous. So nous is the Greek word for innate intelligence, as I was just told by Arul sir and Argo. So yeah.
Thank you, Asta and Rishika. I can assure you the activities and the events they conduct are just as intriguing and amazing as their name. Next up, we have Shireen from the Linguistics Society as the office bearer and the convener to tell us a little bit about what they do.
Okay, hi, so I'm Shireen. I'm from the Linguistics Society, and so the Linguistics Society, as soon as it was inaugurated in Meta, it was inaugurated in college, and then we went online. So all of our activities were online. So we're the newest society from the department, and we strive to build and promote an engagement with linguistics and language awareness, and with the language of madness that we've all been talking about. We take it and we see it through different languages, and that's what's so amazing about it. So a few of our events are we hold discussions and lectures, conversations in and out of translation. We also conduct workshops around script designing and word games and stuff like that. We have public communication exercises that we do around linguistics, like Linguini from the MA students, which is amazing. I remember last year under Linguini, they had a play on forensic stylistics, and everyone was so pumped about it. We would all sit together, and there would be questions after every session that they had, which led to the next session. It was so amazing. Even though it was online, we kind of had that presence. And we also have Linguoscope that we had. So we listen to uncommon languages and people speak them. People tell us stories in their language. They sing songs around it. And it's just so beautiful to be around. So we also, on our Instagram page, we also have regular quizzes around etymology and Shakespearean insults and popular lingo. So please do follow us. So I guess you could say we have a lot of linguistic up our sleeves. So join us. The links are all below on the chat box. Thank you. Yeah, I can come down.
Thank you, Shireen. Now, I would like to invite Professor Vijeta to address the gathering. She is one of the maddest professors that is in the department, and every time you talk to her, you will learn something new. So Vijeta, I'm over to you.
Thank you, Akanksha, the hostess of the evening. You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Remove WhatsApp live. Okay, thank you everyone for being patient with us. I'm here to tell you today a little bit, especially the first year students who are here. Things are mad for you guys right now in terms of the changes that are about to happen. Some of you might know of it, some of you might not know of it. I myself don't know anything about it. In school, I went to a school called Kumurin School in Tata Silk Farm in Baswangudi. It's also a school that is very famous for another person who went there, BJP MLA, who's very fondly called Child Chapati. Don't Google him if you want to sleep well tonight. In this school, there was, in the last bench, there was a boy called Vikram, who we didn't know much about him at all. I didn't know much about him, but no one talked to him very much. He was what they called a repeater. He had failed, and he was supposed to be in the 7th standard, but then he couldn't go because he'd failed, so he was sitting with us. He came alive only at 4 o'clock every day, and at 4 o'clock when the bell rang and the last hour got over, that's when he woke up. He would come to school looking very normal, as in he wouldn't talk much. He would only talk when answered, and the teachers hated him because teachers hate people who sit at the last bench. And he sat in the last bench, and he just sat with himself with his lunch dabba and ate. And at 4 o'clock every evening, it was as though he'd become someone new and renewed, because a bell would ring and he would just grab his bag and run out to the field to play there. He was very good at basketball, and he also played badminton and hockey. So it seemed as if he came to school only for that sports time after 4 and the lunch time at 1, where you'd quickly just eat up food and just run away. I noticed him only one day when a bunch of boys were ragging him for having failed or something. And in Kannada, he was telling them, "Dammidre torstini, one ball illinda nanu haktini node bidana." Means I'll stand here and I'll shoot the basketball over there, and the ball will go and just hit where it has to. Then you will never talk to me ever again in my life. And the boy said, okay, we'll see. And he did it. He shot the ball, and it hit the goal, and then sort of won at that moment. And the boy stopped irritating him. I'm sure they continued to irritate him, but he sort of became a hero for us at that point. For me, this is a very important moment that I just went back to today, because it sort of highlighted how for this boy, getting out of one structure was very important to meet another part of his life. And he couldn't wait to become someone else at the end of every day at 4 o'clock. It was almost as if until 4, he couldn't meet himself, and he had to wait for the bell to go for him to meet himself. And I think about how college structures and people who have nothing to do with teaching or education keep making changes in our lives, and how they are making it more and more difficult for students to become students and for teachers to remain teachers these days. And that made me think about how important it is for students now more than ever to keep playing, and for teachers also to play. So I think for me, the association work that the Department of English does is an invitation to students to come and play with teachers. Classroom spaces, as we all know, a lot can happen if with the right teacher around. And I'm sure, but unfortunately, there are very few teachers who do that. But the one permanent thing in any teacher's life is that there will be no dearth of students who are willing to show up and smile like that. So students want to play. They're just waiting for teachers to start playing. So I think of the association work as a way of inviting students to come and play with us. So think of this as a key. We are giving it to you. You should just forget everything and come play with us. But through the associations, like Vikram, you don't have to wait until 4 o'clock to start playing with us, even though all our events happen after class hours. The meetings which happen in 15 minutes or 5 minutes, or the series of events that your office bearers and we put up are ways of letting you know that there is a room even for the person who wants to play all day, and room for someone who doesn't enjoy work at all. I used to get very scared with the idea of work, but then I realized that if there are people around who make work sound like play, then I don't have to be afraid at all. So that's what we hope to do with you guys. I hope you don't stop playing. And so think of this also as someone pointed out here, it's a very thoughtful question. Someone wanted to know if the food is free. The food is free, the work is free, the play is also free. So join us. Okay, I'll go now because I have to go. Akanksha, you can take the one.
Thank you, Vijay. Like I said, every time you talk to Vijay, there's always something new to learn, whether it's that Tejasvi Surya is now called Child Chapati, or about how being a workaholic can also be fun. The minute you enter the department and you do work for the department, be it as part of the association and event, you are never going to want to stop. And this is something I can attest to. Thank you, Vijayta ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Minima Bonjour to say a few words to all of us. So, Minima.
Hello, Anushka, can you hear me?
We can hear you, ma'am. Hi.
Okay, thank you for asking me to say a few words here. I was thinking about how work is play, right? And when work becomes play, you don't really need to look outside for a space to play, right? Work itself is play. So I was thinking about that, and Professor Vijayta spoke about the same thing. I think that's what the department makes one do. At least for me, I've been associated with the department for some time now. And every time, I'm looking at work, and if I'm going to think of it as work and work alone, then it takes away the element of play. And I'm not going to enjoy the process. I'm going to think about the end product. I'm going to think of how I'm going to finish this, and then just get it off my list. It's just another to-do thing on my list and things like that. But the minute that work becomes play, you're not even looking at your wristwatch for time. I don't know how many days, we work in the department, and we forget to sign out sometimes because we are working, and working is play. So that's the element that we bring to the department. And thank you, Professor Vijayta, for bringing this up, because that's what we do with our associations too, right? So the associations offer you a space to play, and you just have to be yourself. Because in this play, in the gameplay that is involved, that you're involved with, you learn a lot of things that are new. You explore different avenues. You make new friends. You learn how to organize things. You learn to work in the department, die with the department. And you also get chai, samosas, naan, chaat, whatever we have in store for you. But because everything is online just now, we're thinking virtual food. Oof is virtual in our heads just now and everything else. But once we all move offline, all of you are most welcome to come to the department and have a real chai with us and real samosas. But until then, we will make do with the online. We're not going to let this pandemic push us into corners. We're going to still take part. We're going to have fun. We're going to work and play together at the same time. And the various associations that we have are our babies, including Meta, right? So we are proud of our babies, and we want all of you to be part of them. Have fun, learn, enjoy yourselves. That's what the department offers. So all the best to everyone. All the first year students who are here, welcome to you. Please come to these associations, be part of these associations. Like I was looking at the chat box, no compulsion that you have to do this. The minute something becomes a have to, fun and play is gone out of that, right? So do it because you want to do it, right? And if you're having fun in the process, double thumbs up for that. So good luck, people. All the best. And I'm wishing the new team that's going to organize all of this, the office bearers, good luck, best wishes. We have a very, very able and dedicated captain of our team, of our ship, and that's Dr. Arul Mani. So with him as captain, we only have to say, aye, captain, and we're all going to have fun. So all the best, people. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinima. Like I said, if for nothing else, if you enter the department for Chai Point Kesar Elaichi Chai, you will never leave. That's a given. And the Anda Paratha and everything else that comes with that madness is wonderful. I'd like to now invite Dr. Arul Mani to give the closing remarks, as well as reveal the theme for Metanin, Meta, and the association activities. Dr. Arul is our Dean for School of Languages as well as the HOD of the English department. Hi, sir.
Hello, Akanksha. Thank you for that introduction and innovation as far as introductions are concerned. I think this is the first dissolving introduction we've had at Mixer Day. Thank you very much. Always good to be at the moment of innovation. Welcome everybody to this Mixer Day. Thank you for making it on a busy day when there are many things happening and when there are many e-certificates being handed out. We have no e-certificates to give you. Mixer is called Mixer because it's an opportunity for all the students in different combinations to get to know each other, to get to say hello to each other, to meet office bearers, to find out what we have in store for the year, and so on. So our calendar for the year at one point in time, when we had a stable academic year, right, was we would begin with Mixer Day in the second or third week of June and follow that up with Meta Schools and then have Metanim for 3 glorious weeks, at the end of which the department would look like a kind of battleground because so many different things would have happened there. And then we would settle down into a 2-week period of comparative quiet and peace before we went into intramural, and that would mean another 2 weeks of chaos and running around. And that would be followed by some period of quiet because it would be exam season. We'd reopen after vacations. For the new semester, we'd have Poetry Week, we'd have a book sale, we'd have artwork beginning for Meta, and then there would be TiGrab, the quiz festival in January, followed by Meta in February, and Upstage in the last week of February. And somewhere in between all that, NOUS would also do Blue Pencil, right? So never a quiet moment is literally true when it comes to the department and its associations. So the natural question to ask is, why bother doing all of this? Why can't we just behave like a proper set of college associations, which is have a nice inauguration, have one nice program, have one nice valedictory, and then write one nice report and go to sleep? To answer that question, I have to tell you 2 or 3 stories. The first story is the story of how I got hooked into all this association stuff. I was studying 10th standard in what was then called Kairadi Dayadan Educational Trust. I was passing by one day and some teacher said, "Hey, you come here. From today on, you are the president of the Literary Society." So that's when I find out that there is such a thing in my school and that I'm now the president. So then they said, you have to come up with programs. You have to think up things. So I didn't know what to do. We said, okay, we'll have a talents evening where people can come and do whatever they want. So we announced it. In those days, there were no posters and no internet-based things on which social media by which to publicize events. We wrote it on a blackboard and we said, don't miss talents evening on such and such a day, 1986. That was when all this was happening, right? Then this was supposed to happen at 4 o'clock. At 2:30, we went to make arrangements. There were not many arrangements. We just had to set up a mic. The school had one technician who would set up the mic for us. He tried 4 times and then said, "Mic not working, boss." And there we were faced with disaster because how will people show talents if there is no mic? Right? They have to sing or they have to do mimicry or they have to do something. And mic has to work for all of that. So the technician said, okay, I'm busy, and then he left. Right? So there we were with one small Ahuja audio console. Right? We had strung up the 2 bell mics and put the wires into the damn things. And now the mic itself was not working. The hero of the story is one boy who rejoiced in the beautiful ancient name taken from some Tamil epic. The name was Villavan Kodai. So Villavan Kodai had failed 8th standard twice when I got to 8th standard. And then somehow he passed 8th standard and came to 9th standard with me and had failed 9th standard, right? So when I was in 10th standard, he was in 9th standard, and it looked like he was going to spend another 2 years failing 9th and 10th. He could never pass an examination. Villavan Kodai was passing by and he saw the look of great desperation on my face. And so he stopped and said, "What is happening?" And I told him, "Boss, mic not working." So he went, looked at it and said, "This mic, I know it very well. You have to hold it at a certain angle and press it. There's a wire inside which needs to get pinched. When it gets pinched, it will start working." So then he showed me how to do that and walked off. It's the first time I'd met a lord of life like that, who could fail all the exams in the world, but solve a simple problem like this. So I pinched the wire in the manner in which he suggested, and I put it into the holder, and it worked perfectly for the rest of the evening. It gave out only before the vote of thanks, but I went quickly and pinched the wire again, and it worked, right? After that, Villavan Kodai was a god in my eyes. I never went to the school technician. Whatever we did in school, whatever small things we did in school, Villavan Kodai was our go-to man, right? The second story I want to tell you is about how I went on strike in my first year in college. I was joining a college which now claims to be a university. In that year, in my very first year, I landed up in front of college one day and there was a huge rope in front of me, right? It was a nice thick rope of the kind you might use to hang an elephant or something. And I looked at the rope in puzzlement and then looked at the fellows who were tying it to both ends of the college gate. And they said, "We are on strike, go home or join us." So I said, "Why are you fellows on strike?" And they said, "College is not letting us have rock show, so we are on strike." This felt like a very just cause to me. So I immediately went and joined the fellows who were on strike, and we sat there one whole day and sang songs. At the end of the day, the college said, "Okay, you can have your rock show." And that was my first successful enterprise in collective action. I didn't expect it to be so easy and so much fun, and I was hooked, right? So I didn't get very much from the college I studied in. I spent most of my time in class writing notes and dying of boredom. But the time outside class was always magical. It was either at the canteen, where all these fellows would be smoking and discussing some Colin Wilson or some other obscure writer that they had all started reading together by some magic impulse, right? I remember every one of those conversations, only because I felt completely illiterate. I'd never heard of any of those writers. I also learned some very important life skills, sitting around with those useless fellows who had many backs and never passed any exams properly and spent all their lives smoking. The two big life skills I learned from them were suicide chess, which if you don't know anything about, I'm very sorry for you. But suicide chess is the polar opposite troll game of all times to essentially infuriate those who love chess. So I soon became world champion in my college of suicide chess. The other big life skill I learned there was something called matchbox flipping. It's like the most time pass game of all time. People would endlessly flip matchboxes because they were smokers, and there were points for how the matchbox landed on the table, right? So essentially what I learned from going to this institution is how not to be bored, right? So the smallest things could become play, could become interesting things. You could build networks of friendship and laughter with comparative strangers, right? And college became real to me outside the classroom in all these unexpected ways, right? And so that's how I got involved once again in cultural activities and things like that. I remember one beautiful moment from this time in college where we were supposed to go and take part in two fests outstation, one after the other. IIT Madras used to have this festival called Mardi Gras in the 80s and the 90s. And they had this, and Madras Christian College had this festival called Deep Woods. So after much begging and pleading and all that, the college gave us permission to go on a beautiful 11-day outstation trip, just taking part in intercollegiate events at these two festivals, right? So we all went very happily to the railway station to catch this train and found that the train had been cancelled because there had been an accident somewhere near Jolarpet. And so we sat in the railway station for 5 hours. My father found out about it and said, "What is this nonsense? Come back home. There's no need for you to waste time." And so I went back home very unhappily, right? And then at some 7 o'clock in the evening, these guys found out that a new train was being organized at 9:30 in the night. So one of those guys got into an auto and came all the way to Jeevan Bhima Nagar, where I lived, from City Railway Station, to tell me, "Come with us, don't miss out on this chance." My father was very impressed with his dedication, and so he said, "Okay, you can go." And I went and caught that train, and I had a glorious time, right? I took part in about 7, 8 or 8 events. I may have won 1 prize, but the fun I had was going and watching my college mates take part in various events and being their support group, right? All events that I didn't understand, I learned a lot about. I learned the intricacies of Indian music and how it is judged. I was part of a collage team because one fellow didn't wake up in time for the event. I took part in all sorts of events like this. And what I experienced at that point was what you dream of when you hear the term college. It didn't come in any one of the moments in class. It didn't come out of all the official parts of college life. It came out of moments like this. And it's here that I'd like to call upon the excellent point that Professor Vijayatha made, which is that of play. Right? It is in acts of play that we discover ourselves, that we discover our potential, because in those moments of play, we forget to be nervous, we forget to pay too much attention to ourselves, we forget to be the subjects of our own fears, right? We become the people we are capable of being, right? And that is why our associations are built so much around the idea of providing a safe and energizing space for play in campus. I believe that learning is impossible without a spirit of play, and that is something we have tried very hard to keep alive in each one of the associations that we run, right? The theme for Metonym for our entire season of activities this academic year is On Our Feet. And we chose On Our Feet for several reasons. One of the reasons is because it encapsulates this sense of play, this sense of being actively involved that I was talking about. The other reason why we chose On Our Feet is because in that spirit of play, what we discover is perhaps an idea that needs to be delineated very carefully, the idea of fraternity. But before we talk about that, please do look at the poster. The feet in this poster are wearing pajamas I would give an arm and a leg for. I think it's only fair to say that no revolution can be won unless all of us are wearing good pajamas, right? The idea of fraternity, what does that mean, right? It's the idea of brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it, right? It's the idea of feeling the need for the other person to share the things that you're experiencing. right? That's the simplest element of this idea of fraternity. And for me, fraternity is a very, very important thing. You've heard the word fraternity in another context, right? When people talk of democracy, they talk of how liberty and equality and fraternity are the three important values around which democracy develops, right? In a country like India, you have a social system which works by denying fraternity, right? The system of caste, which divides people and sets them against each other, works by actively constricting the idea of fraternity. If you look at the current political scenario, we have an establishment, a political establishment that is morally and intellectually bankrupt, but is able to stay in power because it is able to dissolve fraternity very, very easily. The idea of having these associations, the idea of exploring the many things that we do through play, is because I believe that if we are to rebuild the republic, if we are to reclaim the idea of fraternity, it has to be done in spaces like this, in colleges, in places where people meet and value each other for what they are able to do and not because of who they are or who their parents are or where they were born or what communities they belong to, right? It is this beautiful idea of fraternity, this beautiful idea of a possible republic that is close to our hearts in all the activities that we do as a department. Every time you come together and join us, it restores our faith in the idea of rebuilding the republic, right? Without knowing it, you have done something beautiful, you have done something important. Each one of you who turned up today, each one of you who will turn up for our activities across the semester. This is not about competing, it's not about winning, it's not about scoring many points, though those things may happen in the course of the events that we organize. It's about you finding unexpected things about yourself. It's about you learning to respect similar discoveries in your peers, right? These are the simple purposes that we try to achieve through Metanym, through Meta Schools, through Upstage, through Blue Pencil, through TiGrab, through all the activities that we do through the year, right? So it is my pleasure to bid you a hearty welcome to all of these. This is your chance to seize life and to live it fully, right? Let us make sure that we are all able to do it, right? We live in a time when governments are trying to restrict education and take away the joy of education. I'll just give you one example. The current NEP has 1 credit for something that it calls extracurricular activities. What is that 1 credit supposed to do? How is it supposed to be any way of quantifying, right, what is ultimately a rich learning experience? In all our Jesuit institutions, we have a basic commitment to making learning open and accessible to everybody, right? And the spirit of play in which learning is possible through co-curricular and extracurricular activities is something that is very, very valuable, something that we will protect with all our might, despite the designs of those who hold power over us, right? With those words, I will just now make 2 announcements. One is a reminder of the Professor Barbara Naidu Memorial Prize for the personal essay. The topic was announced at Meta last year. I will remind you of the topic. It is finding a self. Anyone can write a personal essay about their journey towards finding a self or not finding a self. Both are equally interesting ideas, interesting journeys. The date for submission is 31st January 2022. but nothing like telling you well in advance. So please do send in your entry. Every year, the entries are judged by an outside juror, usually a writer of note, and that writer will pick one winner in the open category, one winner in the college category, and one winner in the school category, right? So I'm hoping that everyone who feels they have something interesting to tell us will not hesitate to write. I see there's a question about the word limit. Don't worry about the word limit. Write as much as you want and send. All right. The other announcement I want to make in relation to our theme, which is on our feet, right, is the launch of Metonym, our interclass contest. I don't know if we'll be able to have interclass contests with the coming of NEP in the future. So this may well be the last time we have a proper interclass Metonym. Right, next year we'll have to find a new way of having it. Right, so please do take part in it as your class. If you're a first-year student, your only chance to take part is TEP or HEP or PCM or whatever. After that, it'll become something else. Right. So we'll have something ready for that something else next year. But this year is special on account of it being the last time we can hold Metonym in a familiar format. Right. I'm just going to release the schedule for Metonym in the chat box. Right. What I have is a concise schedule, one that tells you what events. We have about 20 events. We start on the 14th with an inauguration and a session where we take your questions. If you have questions about any events, we start the events proper on 15th. All the events are after classes and will be held online on Teams. We go from the 15th to the 25th with about 1 or 2 events every day. We have 20 different events and they're hosted by each of our associations, Lit Society, Performing Arts, Quiz Club, NAUS, and the youngest on the block, the Linguistic Society. Right? Just give me a moment while I share the schedule with you. Right? We'll also be sending out a more detailed set of rules and things, right? But let me just share the schedule with you immediately. Okay, the Metonym schedule has been formally released, and with that, we come to the end of today's Mixer Day. Thank you for coming, everybody. Professor Vijeta has released some of the previous Barbara Naidu winners, their essays in the links that you see in the chat box. Those who are curious about the contest, please do read the essays. Like you will find when you read them, they're ordinary essays written by ordinary people, but made special by the nature of the discoveries they've been able to bring to writing. Right? So everybody who is capable of writing should write. Right? That is my belief. Please do begin work on your entries and send them in. We look forward to having a great Metonym, and we look forward equally to the great friendships, the great rivalries. We don't know which class will win Metonym 21, but somebody will win. That doesn't really matter. I hope all of you have a great time getting together as a class and giving Metonym your best shot. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming here today. All the best. And let's remember that the job of all our associations is to put the fight back into the idea of being a Josephite. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Evans. Nobody could have said it better than our boss man himself. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Thank you to the teachers, the office bearers, the students who were able to make it. I'd like to end this evening by saying, like everybody has said, there is madness and joy and love and just so many more wonderful things to be found in these associations, these events, this department. So open up your hearts and you will receive 10 times the love and the effort that you put in. So thank you for making it. Please do participate in all our events, join the associations that you're interested in. All the links have been put up for the different associations. The Metanum schedule has been released. So hoping to see a lot more of all of you. So thank you and have a good evening, everybody.